Hey everybody, it's Aloha and I'm here to talk to you a little bit about the Rich Content Editor in Canvas. And I know you are learning all about this week, so I'm going to try and keep this brief for you and really just demonstrate what it looks like. So here is an example course policies page in Canvas, and it's just policies on a content page. And as you'll see from looking at the page, it's basic text. There's not a lot of formatting applied to this page aside from some bold and some underlining. So let's go ahead and click the Edit button. After you click Edit, you will see that the Rich Content Editor appears at the top of the text box. And let's see what it would look like to use the editor to edit this text rather than leaving it with just the basic formatting that it has right now. So this page is our policies page, and we have a communication policy, attendance, late work, drops, and student honesty. And we really don't want anything to be underlined because that is not great for accessibility. Anything that's underlined, your students may think it's actually a link. So that is not a good idea for formatting the different sections of our page. Instead, we want to use the built-in headings that exist in the Canvas editor. That's going to allow students who are using a screen reader to properly know what the headings are in your page. So I'm going to go ahead and highlight my heading, and I'm going to clear the formatting that's on it by clicking the little T with the X next to it. That clears the formatting, and then I'm going to go over to where it says paragraph, and I'm going to go ahead and change it to header 2. And that is going to apply the proper formatting using the editor. If you scroll down now, look at the difference between this heading and this one. This is now designated as a header 2 and will be read by a screen reader or other assistive technology. I'm going to go ahead and do that again to show you. So I'll highlight it and I will clear the existing formatting and apply a header 2. It's very important when you're applying these headers to always start with header 2. Don't start with header 4, for example, because you don't want to skip any headers. It's very important that they're properly nested. So you'll do your H2s first. Everything on the page will be likely an H2, and then only if there are subcategories would you start applying H3s, and then if there were further subcategories, you would apply H4s. So all of these would simply be H2s, and you could go through your whole page and fix those. And then think about if you wanted to apply further levels of headings. So H2s, let's go back up. Possibly here, up in the first section, these subcategories of communication might be H3s. So maybe instead of using dashes to designate these, I could think about formatting them as H3s, header 3s. And I could do that for all of the little categories of communication. And last one. All right. So that's how you do headers. It's very important to have those properly formatted, and it's great for students who are using assistive technology, but also it looks nice for people who just are trying to scan your page to get the important information. The next thing I want to show you is lists using the editor. Right here, this list of contact methods, as you can tell, is not formatted with a list. It's actually just numbers written 1, 2, 3, 4 that I've typed. And that is not going to be read as a list to somebody who is using assistive technology. Instead, it's just going to say, it's going to be actually read as 4 different paragraphs of text. So if I switch over to the HTML for this, as you'll see, see my numbered list right here? It's actually separated into 4 separate paragraphs. So it's instead of grouping information into a list, it's considering it that it's 4 completely separate items. So let's go back to the Rich Content Editor and fix that. I'll just remove my numbers that I typed in myself, and instead I will make it into a list using the editor up here. Now, should I use a bulleted list or a numbered list? Really, mostly you're probably going to be using bullets. You would use a numbered list if it was important that the student do the items in a particular order, so a series of steps, or you might use numbers if it was important that they do 5 items. So a lot of times in an assignment you'll say, answer the following 3 questions. And then you might number those questions so the student, when they're numbering, knows that they in fact answered 3 different things. These are just contact methods and I don't really care how they use them, so I'm going to just do bullets. And now that I've done that, it went ahead and applied the proper formatting for me. If I look at the HTML, you'll now see instead of paragraphed, it has formatted them as a list. And switch back over. Then another thing I want to show you is links. Right now you'll see here's a link on this page and it's the full URL to a website. This is not great for accessibility because a screen reader is actually going to read the entire URL to a student. So it would say, if a student was using a screen reader, it would say, talk to any of the librarians at the Gavilan Library. You can come in person or call, email, or instant message, link http://www.gavilan.edu/library.contactus.html. So instead of doing that, we can go ahead and insert this link into some text so that it will become meaningful. I'm going to go ahead and cut the link there. And instead what I can do is I can highlight where the link actually takes them. So it tells them if you click here on these words, it's going to take you to a link that will tell you how to call, email, or instant message the library. So to insert that link, I can use the rich content editor to do link to URL and then just paste in my link. And as you can see now, that is some linked text. It's what we call a meaningful link. It can be understood out of context. Another thing that a screen reader might do for a student is pull out all the links on a page and give them a list of all the links that are on that page. So it's important that the list is meaningful when they're pulled out. So this would say link, call, email, or instant message, which is much more meaningful than just a long URL or the dreaded click here, right? A lot of people say click here to email the library. And if it's just the click here that's highlighted, when that student gets that list of links at the end of the page, it's just going to say click here, click here, click here, click here, and they won't know where any of those links go. So that's one example of how to do a meaningful link. Another fun thing you can do in Canvas is you can highlight any area and also press Control K. And if you press Control K on your keyboard or Command K on a Mac, it also allows you to insert the URL, determine the text, and even set it to open in a new window to insert that link. So that's kind of nice as well. So we've done headers, we've done lists, we've done links. Let's show you one more thing. Images on a page, right? Here I've already got an image inserted here telling them to click next. If you've got an image, you need to have alt text for that image. The alt text, alternate text, is to describe the image for somebody who can't see it. So how you do that in Canvas is you can click right onto your image and then click the embed image icon, and you'll see there's a field for alt text, and we want to describe our image. Now in this case we have words in the image, and that's what's important. So I can actually just type the words, select next to continue, and that would be the alt text for that image, and I can update it. However, what if it's not words, right? Let's see. If you want to insert an image, for example, to spruce up some of your text, I'll put my cursor here. One thing you can do is you can go over on the right to this menu and click Images. Any images you already have in the course will appear, or you can upload a new image from your computer. Let's see, here's a little communicate icon. Maybe I want to click on that. And again, once the image is inserted, if I highlight it and click Embed Image, Well, I can make it smaller, which is probably a good idea. And here, it's guessing the alt text, and it's guessing that the alt text is the file name. That is actually also not acceptable because, again, that's not really meaningful to somebody who is trying to get a description of the image. Your idea here is to describe the image. Try to aim for, under 10 words in your description, a short sentence that basically captures the intent of why the image is there. So, that depends on how much description you're going to need, right? If it's just a kind of a fun image, or if you're actually trying to convey information, you might need to put a little bit more detail here. So it's up to you. It's a bit of an art form, I think, actually doing the alt text for an image. But if it's just decorative, you can play around with it a little bit, but you might do something like communication icon, or you might do 2 people with talk bubbles, something like that. And you would do that every time you insert an image and just build it into your normal routine of inserting images. I'll show you one other way to insert an image into a page. Anywhere on your page, you can go ahead and click on the embed image icon, again on the Rich Content Editor, and choose the Flickr option. And here we can actually find Creative Commons images to use in our course, right? So you can search for any kind of image you want. It will give you some options, and then you can go ahead and choose one that looks nice to you. It'll guess again at the alt text, but you could change it if you want. Hand raised. And it'll insert that image with the alt text right in your page. So now if I click Save, you can see I've got a nicely formatted page, much better than when we started, right? So even for somebody who's not using assistive technology, I think this page looks much better with the proper headers and lists and links and beautiful images. All right, have fun this week.